All right, let's dive into the story of a rebel, a hero, and a god who literally rides on fiery wheels. We're talking about one of the most popular deities in Taiwan, the third prince, Nezha. And trust me, his story is one for the ages.
So, to really get Nezha, think of the whole Taoist pantheon of gods as this giant celestial corporation. Now, Nezha, he's not the chairman hiding in some faraway office. No, he is the star CEO, the guy on the ground, the vanguard who's always charging into the front lines to get things done. We're talking pure, unadulterated action.
So, where in the world does a character like this come from? Well, his origin is famously told in the Investiture of the Gods, which is kind of like the Avengers of Chinese mythology. And his story kicks off with probably one of the weirdest births you will ever hear about.
It all starts with his parents, the military commander Li Jing and his wife Lady Yin. Now, their pregnancy was, not exactly normal. It went on for 3.5 years. Yeah. When you have an omen like that, you just know something epic is about to happen. So when the big day finally arrived, there was no baby. Instead, out came a giant glowing meatball. His dad, totally freaked out and thinking it was some kind of demon, actually drew his sword to destroy it. But with just one slice, the meatball popped open.
And out pops a young boy already holding divine weapons. Pretty cool entrance, right? He was quickly taken in by an immortal master. But let me tell you, this kid was a handful. At just 7 years old, he accidentally caused a massive disturbance in the underwater palace of the Dragon King. A fight broke out, and Nezha ended up killing the Dragon King's son. To stop the dragons from getting their revenge on his entire town, Nezha did something truly unthinkable.
With those words, "I return my flesh to my mother and my bones to my father," he sacrificed himself to save everyone. It's an absolutely heartbreaking moment, but it shows you just how deep his sense of responsibility was. He was a rebel for sure, but a rebel willing to give up everything for the people he cared about.
But for a god like Nezha, death isn't the end, not even close. It's more like a transformation. You see, his powerful immortal master, Tai had a plan. His master basically gave him a divine upgrade. Using lotus roots and beautiful petals, he built a brand new body for Nezha. This new lotus body was way more powerful and, just as important, it cut his old mortal ties. He wasn't just his parents' son anymore. He was reborn as a true divine warrior, free to act. And, with a new body and all these new powers, you're bound to get a pretty serious promotion. Nezha was about to get some of the most important jobs up in the heavens. And with that promotion came some serious gear. I mean, check out this loadout. He's got the universe ring, which is like a heat-seeking boomerang, the red armillary sash, a ribbon that can tie up any demon, his famous wind fire wheels, the original divine supercar, a fire-tipped spear for close combat. Oh, and inside that little pouch, a golden brick, because sometimes you just gotta throw a brick at a demon. So with all this power, he got some huge responsibilities. As Marshal of the Central Altar, he's basically the commander-in-chief of the celestial armies. As the vanguard, you will always see him at the very front of temple processions, clearing the path. And that protective role extends down to us. He's seen as a guardian of kids, especially rebellious ones. And thanks to those fiery wheels, he's become the patron saint for pretty much all drivers. Okay, so let's say you find yourself at one of his temples. How do you get on the good side of this powerful boy god? Don't worry, I got you. Here's a quick guide. First thing to remember is that he's eternally a kid at heart, so his tastes are pretty modern. He's not really looking for the old-school traditional offerings. He wants the good stuff. So what should you bring? Think sweets. Lots and lots of sweets. Lollipops, candy, cookies, they're all great choices. But the #1 most famous offering for him is Yakult. Seriously, you bring a pack of that, and you're golden. But, and this is a big one, there is one absolute unbreakable rule. Never, ever offer him duck. The legend says that ducks helped protect his new lotus body while it was being made, so he's forever grateful. Offering duck is a huge no-no. What's so amazing about Nezha, though, is that he isn't just some character stuck in an old book. His story keeps evolving, and it's taking on some really surprising new forms in the 21st century. So get this, at the 2009 Kaohsiung World Games, these giant puppets of Nezha came out on stage and started dancing to Lady Gaga. The whole thing went viral, and suddenly he had this new persona, the electric techno neon god. It just proves that his core spirit, adventurous, bold, and forever young, is totally timeless.
So, after all that, why does a 3,000-year-old story about a rebellious kid god still connect so deeply with people today? What's the big takeaway here?
I think, ultimately, we love Nezha not just for his awesome powers, but for his humanity. He made huge mistakes, he was impulsive, but he took responsibility for them in the most extreme way imaginable, and he was reborn stronger for it. His story is this incredible lesson in resilience. It teaches us that it's okay to mess up, as long as you own it, and then you come back ready to charge forward with everything you've got. And that's a message that will never, ever get old.